They knew we were from The Daily Show. They knew we were liberals, most likely voting for Kamala, and they still were ready to engage in conversation with us, and that's all you can ask of people.
They treated us with kindness, and it made me realize I don't know that a MAGA person would be welcomed with as nearly as much respect as we were at a Kamala rally. Hello, fuckers. How are you today? Are you okay? Drink some water, go outside, stare at a leaf, and welcome to another episode of Guys We Fucked.
It's the anti-slut-shaming podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Guys, we got dates. We got stuff to promo. This is going to be a Just Us episode, okay? And we're going to get into it. We're going to have fun. But first, do you live in Tulsa, Oklahoma? You do? Well, I'm going to be headlining the Looney Bin Comedy Club, January 10th and 11th. And then in Toronto, I will be headlining the Comedy Bar, January 17th and 18th. So please come to that. It's going to be really fun. I have a new hour of stand-up that I fucking love. And we'll take pictures afterwards. Kevin will probably be there. You can meet Kevin. And then, as always, I have a Patreon where once a week I host a Zoom. I have one tonight. I'll do it a lot on Monday nights, where for 1 hour we can just talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. You got something weighing you down? Do you feel like you want to die today? Is your dad a cunt? Whatever it is, you can talk about it in these Zooms. And I gotta say, I've also welcomed topics relating to aliens, ghosts, psychedelic drugs. And you have taken me up on that offer and have told me some crazy stories. So this is a great space where I learn a lot about humanity, and I invite you to come join me, patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson. And then my solo podcast, The Voices in Our Heads, which is getting real woo-woo. I'm interviewing a lot of people about a lot of stuff that maybe your boyfriend doesn't agree with. Voices in Our Heads comes out every Monday wherever you get your podcasts.
And if you want to hear more of me, you're in the minority. No, I'm just kidding. I do a political podcast called Without a Country. It's been so fun. And it'll, you know what? Either way, it'll continue to be fun because that's the promise that I've made the listeners. And I do have a Patreon now for Without a Country where you can get one exclusive video news story every week, and there's different tiers. You can be a cutie, you can be a capitalist pig, or one person every month gets to be the dictator. And that is a fun position currently held by the one and only Hannah Pendergrass. So yeah, you can check that out. We live stream on YouTube every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and it's a great time. Like a lot of people write in and they're just like, I don't know how to handle the holidays with all my family who has different political views. And I think this show does a really good job of like forging the pathway to speak to people that you disagree with, because I think that's something that I have worked a long time on being able to do. When we went to the Trump rally, everyone's like, how did you keep yourself composed? And I'm like, because we've been training for this.
Yes, and
for a really long time.
Yes. A lot of people ask me how I didn't punch people. I'm like, I didn't, and I get out of the two of us, I'm the one who's going to want to punch somebody. Yeah. I didn't have an iota of that emotion.
It was so calm.
Because we humanized people.
Yeah, people. And also, honestly, this is the explanation I gave. You have to remember, America is about being able to express whatever idea you want to. You just can't actively, commit, crimes based on people being different than you, AKA hate crimes.
Yeah.
But we were on their turf. So if anything, they had the right to bully us out, and they absolutely did not.
Very hospitable.
They knew they knew we were from The Daily Show. They knew we were liberals. They knew, that we were, most likely voting for Kamala, and they still were ready to engage in conversation with us, and that's all you can ask of people.
They treated us with kindness, and it made me realize, I don't know. There was an episode where Jordan Klepper took a Trump guy to a Kamala rally, and there was some fucking threats being thrown around at him until Jordan, stepped in and was like, hey, he's with
right.
me.
That was at the end of the special that we were in. Yeah.
Oh, that was the same special. Okay,
Yeah.
But it made me realize I don't know that a MAGA person would be welcomed with as nearly as much respect as we were at a Kamala rally, and that sucks.
Yeah. Well, even the comments on the clip that went viral on Instagram would have been 2 million if they spelled misogynist right the first time.
I was so mad. That's when I wanted to punch someone.
I was so mad too. I hope that intern didn't get fired though.
No, we all make mistakes.
And misogyny is it's a confusing word to spell. But like all of the comments from mostly left-leaning people I found them upsetting because I was like, well, this is what,
you dumb idiots. How did you talk to them? They're so stupid.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm like, well, this is why we aren't getting along.
Yes.
This is part of the problem. And it's like, you're just pushing people further away and you're like almost instigating them to want to choose this edgier option of Donald Trump. Like, come on.
Yes. And I also,
I found it disappointing.
It is disappointing because this is not, I want to make a promise that if Donald Trump wins, I'm going to do my best to like really keep the morale as high as I can in whatever way I can. And for me, that's going to be doing comedy and I don't know, just talking about it in a way that's not we're doomed, because we're doomed. That attitude doesn't get us anywhere. At least when I have it.
It's a call to action to roll up your sleeves and make the world that you want to live in if Donald Trump wins. And I mean, if Kamala wins, it's a call to not become complacent because it's only fucking 4 years.
And I promise too, on that same coin, to not go, ha, you fucking dipshits if Kamala wins.
Yeah.
Like I want the people that we talk to at the Trump rally to benefit from whoever becomes president. Like I don't wish them ill. And I think it's so easy to narrow your focus in to only be thinking about, which is an important thing to think about, and but it's very emotionally charged, about all of the potential deaths that women will face when they won't get abortion care, when they wanted the pregnancy to happen, but it's an ectopic pregnancy or it's a miscarriage gone wrong and they're at risk of getting a bacterial infection and dying. The doctor doesn't want to touch them because they don't want to get arrested. Yeah. I understand that gets me the most emotional out of all of these issues, but we have to have we have to be steady, and we have to, regardless of the results, we have to, knowing that, and that's really bad, not being able to lead with those intense emotions because it's just not going to help things.
Yeah, no, I hope that, if Kamala wins, that she is, as she has stated many times before, and will be a president for all people. I mean, that's what the hope that you have for whoever wins, that they include everyone, even the people who didn't vote for them. Yes. They're still part of the country and they should be able to live the life that they want to live.
Did you see that McCain clip? I posted it. It was so, it's such a eerie reminder of how little we see kindness in the political area.
I didn't see
John
that.
McCain was at a rally, and I think he was campaigning against Obama, and there was this woman in the crowd who felt like Will Forte's SNL character of like making the wedding speeches of like, oh, let me tell you about the time when I was 13. But she takes the microphone and she's, face to face with John McCain in the middle of this rally audience. And she goes, I don't know if I could trust Obama because he's a Muslim. And I don't know. And McCain goes, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And he asks for the microphone back. He goes, no, ma'am. Barack Obama is a fine gentleman. We just happen to disagree on some issues. And I'm like, wow. It is so. I cried when I watched that clip because it's not.
He's also not Muslim, right?
But regardless, like,
I'm like, so there's just like that's just a lie.
And the woman was off her rocker.
What?
But he wasn't a dick to the woman. Yeah. He was so polite about like, we're not doing that here. Yeah. We're not doing that here. Yeah. And I hope that more Republicans and Democrats can just not use the bullying tactics with the right.
And a lot of times I do think that the Republican candidate is like a fine person. I mean, I don't think Donald Trump is a fine person.
No,
but which
what
is
about
the
JD?
Problem. No, I don't think he's a fine person.
I think he sucks.
You know what?
His wife seems pretty cool.
The number one thing that pissed me off about JD Vance is
he used to hate Trump.
Yeah, I don't like when people are fucking fake.
But that's all of them. That's all of them.
Well, I mean, I think you have to be a little bit fake to be a politician. But again, I will point the finger back at us, the American people. We we respond well to fakeness. I mean, think of like
I know.
the celebrities that you like. It's never like the. Chappell Roan is a great example because people do love her, but she's very,
she's like a drag queen.
She's been very open about her feelings on fame and that, and then people are immediately turning on her.
Oh, they're turning on her.
Yeah, because
it's like she's ungrateful.
Yeah, because she became famous and then immediately started complaining about it, and like
she has.
Part of it is being 26, first of all.
But also, she's standing up to like, wait a second, this is fucked up. Why isn't anybody talking about this?
Exactly. It's like she's experiencing this thing for the first time, and she's like, whoa, this is what I wanted. This is fucked, which is, I think, a very similar
refreshing
experience that, that we had.
Yeah.
And I talked about that a lot because I'm obsessed with the concept of fame. I find it fascinating. But yeah, we got a little taste of it, and I go, this tastes like shit.
Yeah. People are mean, and the industry sucks, and they don't value creativity.
And you think when you achieve your dream that everyone's going to be like, yeah, you achieved your dream. That gives me hope that I will achieve my dream. But no, everyone goes, oh, I didn't achieve my dream, and now I'm mad at you that you achieved your dream. Yeah. And instead of taking that energy and trying to achieve my dream, I'm going to fucking try to break your dream down.
Yep.
And that's not a good use of energy.
That's not nice. Yeah, because just be kinder to each other. But I want to do my best. And take responsibility of like setting an example of being respectful towards the people that I dislike very much.
I'm going to be motivated either way. No matter who wins, it will motivate me in different ways, but it will motivate me.
It would be so cool to have a woman president.
It would
mean so much to me to have a woman president.
I think it would be cool for my grandma and for my mom because
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
I think just like
and then a woman of color, like, come on.
Just really, really cool.
That's so exciting. That's so like it totally. Oh, and there's this channel that I watch. His name is Bashar. He's pretty popular. It's an alien. It's this guy channels. It's just straight up alien population, and he's predicted a lot of stuff. Bashar, Bashar, very, very interesting of channel. And he said, he's like, we're not allowed to play because somebody was like, who's going to win the election? He's like, we're not allowed to influence because you guys are going to do what you're going to do.
Right.
If you're going to get yourself in trouble, you have to deal with the consequences of that because otherwise there's no karma, there's no learning, there's no evolving.
Yeah, woo-woo still incorporates free will.
Absolutely. And he says, if the guy wins... He goes, if the male wins, that will lead to. He straight up said World War III, and the audience was like, ugh, because he doesn't talk like they never talk like that because they're the last thing they want to do is fearmonger.
Because there's then,
yeah. But he goes, if the woman wins, I mean, not that this is at the top of anybody's issue list, but except mine, but that will be an open invite for open contact with aliens.
Kamala 2024 alien invasion.
Come on, BB.
Alien invasion, but not the one the Republicans thought.
No, and not the one portrayed in all the movies where there's scare tactics. Because yes, aliens can look scary as hell, but they mean well. And there's more bad people than bad aliens.
Yeah.
Okay. So remember that. But yeah, I promise not to rub it in your faces. I say that now.
Well, Eliza Kelly, friend of the show, astrologer. I get her newsletter, and she did predict a year ago. Apparently, she did kind of a looking ahead tarot reading at the 2024 election, and at that time it was Biden versus Trump. And she reads the card, and she goes, "Neither of these people are going to win," and she didn't understand it at the time. But she said, I'm sticking by my thought that Kamala would win. There was a lot of polling that was saying Kamala was doing well. Polling is so tough, but then there was one a betting thing that's been right in like
Eric was telling me about it.
92% of elections, and that today went to Trump, which was disheartening.
Yeah, and Eric and I were talking about that. I'm like, but you're betting. Like, do I trust that? Yeah. I would think.
Well, and there's certainly more male, and men are just, that's a big talking point in this election is, there's been a lot of talk about women kind of hiding the fact that they're voting from Kamala on their husband. And I'm like, yeah, if you have to hide who you're voting for, you're in an abusive relationship.
Okay, I want to talk about
You're in an abusive relationship. Yeah.
I want to talk about this. So that was the thing I really wanted to talk about. The best I can do is cancel out his vote. This is a New York Magazine post. 4 women voting for Kamala Harris explain how they deal with being married to a Trump supporter. And again, like, I want to support you being married to or dating or fucking whoever you want. I know Dan Savage is always like, don't fuck a Republican and then they won't exist. But it's not the Republicans that are a problem. It's fucking bullies and just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
People who believe they're being supportive say, leave your relationship, divorce him. But that's not very helpful. Not everybody can instantly leave a relationship.
And not realistic.
Sure. And I agree. I'll try every day until November 5th to change his mind. These are from women voting for Kamala whose husbands are voting for Trump. But I also know that he's a stubborn man. The best I can do is cancel out his vote. I find that very, very interesting. Like, I was curious what you thought about it. Should is a dangerous word here because we're not you, you're you, and you know what's best for you. We do not know what's best for you. However, so I want to get that up top. But what is your opinion on a woman who is married to a Trump supporter?
Today, I mean, I think, and I've said this on Without a Country. I mean, I am truly like puzzled by someone who can still be a Donald Trump supporter in this day and age. I think we came to the conclusion that it's really just people who think that they are going against the grain.
Yeah,
and I understand,
or want to say fuck the system.
Yeah, I understand that as an idea, as a concept. I just don't believe in any way that anything Donald Trump said or done says that he's the guy to do that.
Right. But these people think that like there's a person in my life who is one of my favorite people in the entire world, and I love and respect him more than anything. He wants to vote for Trump, and I think that's so interesting because this person is such a good person. Yeah. And again, has all my respect and admiration. But like it regurgitates talking points that I hear on the news. And I'm like, I don't know how to and it is a manipulation on my part to how to get you to care that like abortion ban means that women will die who want to have kids.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I also have a couple of friends, men, who are voting for Donald Trump, who I really like. So I'm like, well, if they could still be my friends, I would say perhaps I could still be married to someone, but I don't know that I could have a child with someone. And I think that's the difference. I think if you are married to someone, you can have a lot more differences than if you have a child with someone.
That's true, because you got to be
exactly because you have to be on the same page in a way that you don't have to be if you're married, right?
So you don't want to confuse the kid.
And also, but if I ever felt that I had to hide any part of my views or personality, that's when we're in murky. So these women who are hiding from their husbands that they're voting for Donald Trump, that to me is danger zone.
Maybe they're using a tactic of not saying anything because they know how the conversation would go.
Yeah, but you should be able to have an open conversation with your partner. Like that's the one thing. So for my ex who was a Trump supporter, and I haven't talked to him in years. I don't actually even think I think he got off the Trump train a while ago, but I don't know. I can't speak for him. But in that relationship, we always had open conversation, and he knew exactly how I felt and I knew how he felt, and it was very different, and that was okay. And we really enjoyed having those conversations. And I feel like I remember we had like a 5-hour conversation about abortion on the way to go skiing on New Year's. Fun. That's what it's like dating me. And by the end of the conversation, I actually felt like we had made progress. That's why I didn't mind dating him, because I didn't think that he was so rigid in his views, nor was I so rigid in my views that the one we couldn't change slightly. And I do have to credit him in that relationship with kind of the impetus for Without a Country in a way got me really interested in talking to people who felt differently, because I feel like even though I was constantly aggravated by our conversations and probably not the best vibe for a romantic relationship, to constantly be having these high level argumentative conversations, I do feel like it brought value to my life in a big way. Yeah. And made me grow and made me interested in something that I wasn't as interested in before. So yeah, I think I would also depend on how long I had been dating or how long I had been with the person. Yeah, I think there's a lot of variables there.
Yeah, you're right.
But if
I just don't know how to get guys to care about women's health care. The only way I know how to get them to care is you don't fuck somebody who's anti-choice.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I couldn't procreate with someone like that. Yeah. That's a different thing. Yeah. I mean, it's like.
But a couple guy comics I know are voting for Trump.
For sure.
I had a conversation with one of them who I love. I think he's great. I don't know him deeply, but one of them I do. But that's another story that we both know. But he didn't think that Trump was serious about the abortion ban.
Well, that's a tactic he's been using. There's been some articles about that, how, we all, just everyone thinks Trump is so funny. And like on the surface, it's just a person being funny. But on a more complex level, when someone is always kind of over the top and silly, it's a great path to authoritarian rule because you can't tell when they're joking and when they're serious. So they're able to say really over the top things constantly, which I thought that was a really interesting analysis.
Yeah, because then they could be manipulative and judge and tell you your reaction was wrong whenever they want.
Yeah.
Like Tony Hinchcliffe. Cute.
Yes.
Did you date a Trump supporter?
A female Trump supporter?
I've dated both right now. Every girlfriend has been left, right.
Okay.
Interesting. You're bi with politics.
I don't know, but this is the point. Obviously, you should always be able to have open, honest communication with whoever you're seeing.
We would hope. Most people don't, though.
Right.
But I used to work at an ad agency, and earlier this year, I had a day where I was working on two projects at the same time. One that was Kamala video.
Kamala, Eric, come on.
Like comma.
I saw him stuttering as his lips started to make the name.
Yeah, Republicans call her by the wrong name on purpose.
To be degrading.
Yeah.
And then it confuses me.
Let's call her Harris with respect.
Ms. Harris.
Yeah.
I was making, this was before she had even
Announced
that she was running for president. I was making videos of just her saying to vote in February.
Yeah.
And then on the other project, I was making local Republican ads for a few different areas in Florida.
Whoa.
And so I just feel like you can't judge someone based off who they're voting for.
You can't?
We're all so propagandized.
Sure.
One or the other.
Well,
I think
yeah.
for the most part, we're too stupid to even know, unless you're really researching policy.
Yeah, but well, and that's the thing. It's so it's a bit of a cop out to say you can't judge someone, because we're all zombies from what we watch. But I don't disagree with you totally, though. And I mean, part of what I'm really trying to do, and work on, like a goal that I have, is to create a space where you don't have to be a college graduate to understand the reading materials of the Democrats. And I think that's that's where we are right now. In the left, and it's a real disservice. Yeah, exactly. I feel the content is not accessible. And so, people like to talk about how, quote, stupid so many conservatives are. And it's like, well, no, just like a lot of Americans don't have access to education. And so Fox News has done this brilliant thing where they don't use political jargon. They speak in layman's terms. And if the left does not understand that that's part of the reason that people who don't have a college degree gravitate towards conservative values and content, then they're dumb and they deserve it. If they want to continuously shoot themselves in the foot to be cool and elite, well, then continue losing elections, guys.
Yeah, and I think too on both sides, I agree. The propaganda is so it's fucking
and
it's so
and
fucked.
the fear mongering, like you said,
on both sides, because everybody I talk to that's voting for Trump is just repeating these same talking points that I'm hearing over and over again. I'm like, do you know what that means? Do you have a source? Well, and also too, and this is part of my reframing. If you're voting for Trump, you're not stupid, but your level of consciousness that you choose to bring into your life is low. That's not the same as stupid. I think that people don't want to be conscious to a lot of issues. They don't, and when I say consciousness, I mean attention. How do you give your attention? Where do you give your attention every day? Do you give your attention to an angry ad that's just going to tickle your that bone in you that loves to get pissed at, oh, they're making my kid trans in his 4th grade class. You know, is that what you are allowing to grab your consciousness? And I think you have to really, I think the day that we are more educated, and that doesn't mean getting a degree in any way. It doesn't even mean reading more books. It just means I'm actually going to bring a higher level of attention to these issues. And bringing a higher level of attention requires yourself to interrogate, why does this piss me off? Why does this make me happy? Why do I like this? Why do I want to punch this guy when he says this?
Yeah.
You have to, in order to be more conscious in your life, and every human being, but especially you, will benefit from you being more conscious in your day-to-day life. And it's just about being in the moment all the time. When you regurgitate a talking point, you're not being conscious because you're not actually answering the question. Your brain is going, oh, this is the question I hear all the time, and this is the answer I hear all the time, so this is what I'm going to say. I implore you to move a little differently.
Right. I entirely agree with that. And I guess my point was more so, I'm not going to blame my significant other for being propagandized in one direction or the other. But the conscious
Like, listen, I'm just dating
I'm just dating a dipshit.
I'm dating someone who's been tricked.
I'm getting tricked all the time. I don't
Oh God. Well, yeah, and it also is like I feel like also like if you're the way I walked into the Trump rally was like these people have been sold a swimming pool in Florida that doesn't exist.
Yes.
That's what I
had a lot of compassion.
I feel like they're victims in a way because I know what they want or some of what they want. I understand what they want, but what they want, I mean, I think it does exist, but it doesn't exist
in this
from
candidate.
Donald Trump.
I know.
And that's the problem.
And people don't want to be told, like, you know how you couldn't tell me nothing with my mom for a long time?
Right. Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah.
That's these people with Trump. Like they don't want to. You're shaking their core a little bit by pulling back the curtain, going, "Hey, these things." And this candidate you think is going to give you these things, who says that's not true. Like it's jarring, it's awful. It could send you into a tailspin because you think your brain is broken.
You're not going to get the world you want from America's top businessman, especially if you're a middle or lower class American. Like that's like that's to me the simplest reason not to vote for Trump. Like, what are you talking about?
I know, man.
You hate rich people so much. He's
rich.
The poster person. Him and Elon Musk are poster. Rich people.
I know.
What are we talking about here?
There's like a giddiness too that like, oh, rich people want to hang out with me. It's got to be some of that too.
They were like there was a real fangirl BSB in sync energy to a lot of the women at the rally when they asked, what are you most excited to listen to Trump talk about? And so many people's response was like, we're just excited to see him. It's like, are you gonna fuck? What?
Maybe he'll finger me.
It's really weird. And also, Elon Musk is such a joke. I'm like, if any of these people met Elon Musk in high school, they would give him a wedgie. Like, what are we talking about?
Lame-o.
Really weird.
God, he sucks.
Not to keep going into politics or anything, do you think that a lot of the Trump supporters would have been dissuaded the other direction had the Democrats run a more anti-establishment candidate, maybe like Bernie Sanders or Jill Stein?
Bernie Sanders, no, because he's Jewish. As a Jew, I think
they don't want him controlling the weather.
Yeah, no, and well, I mean, it's interesting because Republicans tend to be pro-Israel, but anti-Semitism, I think, is still way too rampant in this country for a Jewish person to win the presidency right now. And it sucks, but I do feel that way.
What about like a Mark Cuban type of person?
I could see Mark Cuban type. That's the type of people that we like. We like people who have more of a celebrity energy.
Right. And
so I could definitely see, someone like Mark Cuban winning for sure. Yeah.
Who's the guy of the Young Turks? Cenk Uygur. I fucking love that man. I love what he says, and I love how he says it. And I don't know. I love that man. He ran. He was gonna run or maybe he did run as an independent, but
I think he has to change his name to like Chet Uygur.
Yeah. Or
again, like these are the things about
Kyle.
like America. Yeah, I think like that name right there. He can't win on that name.
No, you're right.
We're not there yet.
Do you want to go into emails?
Yeah, sure.
Let's talk about some other stuff.
Sure. This email says, should I be crying on dates? I would say probably
Probably
no.
not. Probably not. Unless you're crying because life's so beautiful. But even that's a little weird. So
This one says, hi, Corinne and Krystyna. I love the podcast. It's become a real part of my week that I look forward to for some laughter and thoughtful perspectives, which is a combination I truly appreciate.
thanks, girl.
I've listened to your podcast over the past 7 years, and I've heard you ladies grow and love how you interview your guests. Thank you so much in advance. If you do choose this, it's a lower stakes situation, and thank goodness because it's already long. Ha.
You should be crying on dates, girl. Let's figure this out.
Yeah, no, I think this is an accessible
stakes.
situation. This is good.
I've cried on dates. Not in front of them.
Oh, in the bathroom?
Yeah, in the bathroom, and you cry after.
The subject title is not a serious question, LOL, but it is inspired by a recent breakup text. We went on a month's worth of dates I received. He said, sorry if I'm coming off distant. I hate having to say this when you're sick, but I'm having trouble connecting with you emotionally. It's probably just me, but I think it's better to tell you now. I really, really enjoy the sex, but I feel like you want more and I just don't think I am there. I'm not super surprised because he had started to be less enthusiastic about dates and was being less affectionate outside of sex. But I never asked him to be exclusive, nor him me, though he did say on the second date that he was a little jealous that I had another date that weekend where he was trying to find another time to see me. I said I had plans. He asked what I was doing, and I was honest, LOL. That could also be flirty, though. Like, was he actually jealous, or did he say something like, ooh, I'm jealous? Like, that's just flirty. The questions. The emotional connection part is really putting questions in my head. It's only been like 2 days, LOL. I'm someone who typically takes a while to really open up with new people in dating and friendships, though I've been making efforts to be more vulnerable with people. I told him all of this too early on.
Yeah, because you gotta let him earn your vulnerability, apparently.
Well, I can also tell that you are like just the amount of times you've used LOL so far shows that like you're not confident. And when you're saying something that you mean, you're putting LOL to like soften the blow, and you don't need to do that.
There's a lot of LOLs in this.
And there's nothing funny. LOL.
Girl math.
You see that? I just said something cunty to you, and then I go, LOL. See, that was inauthentic, you know?
Yeah.
Should I be peppering the New York Times 36 questions to fall in love into my early dates?
Nah.
I mean, not yet.
Not yet.
That's more
Just say hi and let him talk.
Yeah, I think the fall in love questions are for when you're in a relationship and you want to deepen that. Haha, but seriously. Okay, that was basically LOL again. How quickly does an emotional connection need to form?
A while.
Yeah.
You gotta earn your trust. You have to earn theirs.
Does it depend on the people? Of course.
Yes.
Should I be coming to guys I'm in early dating stages with when I'm feeling low?
No.
I mean, like, how early, how low?
Right. Like lean. I assume she means leaning on them.
Yeah, I don't think you should pivot from going from what I'm guessing like your friends and family all of a sudden to this guy.
Yeah.
But I don't think that full pivot should actually ever happen. I think that's a mistake that people make in relationships, that all of a sudden they go, I don't need my friends anymore. My partner has become my everything now. It's like, no, you still need your friends.
Yes.
It depends what the issue is. Seems like it could make me feel worse to me, but maybe it's important to see how they react.
Nah.
Seems like you have a lot of tests set up.
Yeah. You're thinking about this too much.
Was he lying? Did he overblow his own feelings? LOL.
That's not funny. I'm glad you wrote us because we're going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Love you, baby.
LOL. Our dating journey, you might be able to skip. LOL. She wrote LOL again. Girl, you're killing me. We went on.
I wish I had liquor. Oh, I do. I take a shot every time you say LOL.
So funny.
He's so fucked up by the end of this episode.
We went on 5 dates, and dates is in quotation marks. I'm not sure why. Because are some just him coming to fuck you?
Maybe.
In the span
That's
of
not
about
a date.
Yeah, that's
LOL.
In the span of about a month, and he kept saying things about the future that made me feel like he saw a potential relationship. Okay. He's right that the sex was really good. Made me come twice the first time we had sex.
Love
I was
that.
impressed.
LOL.
And he kept making allusions to the future, talking about the winter.
It's coming. You're coming, and the winter is coming.
Okay.
She should have put LOL after that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, girl, talking about a season that's upcoming is not like when we get married and have kids.
It's just I don't want to be lonely when it's cold outside.
He's just like spitballing, you know? So many date ideas we could do, telling me he missed me on his vacation, even though we'd only hung out 3 times at that point.
Yeah, I feel like no one ever means that at the early stages. They just want to see how how you react.
And like also, he genuinely could have missed you, but missing someone, there's different levels
dates
of missing. Yeah, like you could be
Right.
like, oh, I'm just getting to know you, and I miss you because we've been chatting a lot, or something.
Yeah. Right. The level of missing you at 3 dates in is a specific level.
Like there's
LOL.
Like I miss my dad, but I also miss the iced potion macchiato from Dunkin'.
Right.
It's not the same.
Not
miss,
the same.
You know,
two different systems happening
right?
there.
But like I genuinely miss them both.
I miss the gobbler. I miss the guy. I miss living near Wawa.
Yeah. I really feel like he was the one pushing things forward, and I was responding.
That's great.
He told me he really liked me after our first date, and I told him I liked him on our second.
Okay.
On our third date, he invited me to see a show of one of his favorite EDM artists that was 3 weeks away on an overnight trip to a nearby big city.
Sexy and fun.
I felt good enough about how things were going that I picked him up from the airport after his vacation. He wanted to meet me too. It logistically made sense because we decided to spend the night together, but low-key regret that whole order of events.
Why do you regret it?
It's not that big of a deal.
You could do something nice for each other, and then he could still want the thing to end. That's okay.
I saw a random poster that was around Williamsburg asking for a kidney donor, and I considered it. So like,
wow, LOL.
So it's just like you can just want to
be kind.
do something. Like I wasn't like,
acting
maybe
like
I'll meet the kidney person and now want to fuck them and we'll get married.
She's kind of acting like a dude here in that guys like if you look at a guy, he's like, wait, you want to fuck me?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm just being nice to you. Relax.
Yeah, you can just like want to like put some positive energy into the world.
Yeah.
So I'm just confused and annoyed by him wording things as if I was asking him to be my boyfriend or something. We both had long-term relationship as our dating goals on the app.
Great.
Well, that's because he wanted to actually have sex, You can't be putting casual and get laid.
That's true.
So obviously that is the goal, but I'd only known him for a month. As time went on, I started feeling more anxiety texting with him and a few times in person. So I was definitely still evaluating him as a potential partner, not ready to move forward exclusively. I also told him I wouldn't be ready to really commit, like a marriage, etc., to someone until we'd been together for 3 years to feel like I really know them.
Rules.
Yeah. So I'm not in a hurry. Thank you, babes.
This is just a story.
Wait, so what's the question? I think
should I be crying on dates?
yeah.
LOL.
I mean, all right.
Okay, yeah. So you just wanted to tell us this stuff, but I
think you got dumped and you're mad because you didn't like him enough to feel this pain? Something like that?
Something like that. And I this is like I guess this advice maybe coming from woman to woman is less offensive. Chill. Fucking chill. Chill out. And really, like, notice when you're getting neurotic about something. Like, I think it's great to have, this is what I want for myself. You know what you want for yourself. So you don't have to keep going. Like, sometimes we make rules for ourselves, but we have to every so often interrogate if that rule is coming from a neuroses or if that's just kind of how we really feel. Because if it was how we really feel, it just feels like a lot of your thinking around dating has anxiety attached to it.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people's thinking around dating does. I don't think that necessarily has to be true. So try to be calmer, like chiller, and let things come to you. Obviously, you're going to be evaluating it, and as you go, and that's fair. But you got a little neuroses around this, it seems.
Yeah, unless you just like immediately like know, like, oh, I want to get serious. Like I'm like feeling the fuck out of this person, and you both agree on that. Months 1 and 2 are really just.
It's a job interview.
Having a good time and enjoying the other person's company and slowly having, little conversations to see if they would make a good long-term partner. But month 1 especially, that's just hanging out, feeling the vibe.
Yeah, and you don't even get into the honeymoon phase until I feel like months later a lot of the times. It depends on how quickly you go, but the feeling out stage that takes a second. It takes a second.
Yeah.
And even when you're on the honeymoon phase, you're still learning about each other.
Yeah.
Okay, next subject line. Wife had a 4-year affair and I took her back. Am I a dumb bitch? First time writer.
That's a long affair.
Yeah. But first time writer, long time fucker from back in the early 2014 days. Hell yeah, we appreciate you, baby. When the episodes were bringing on ex-boyfriends, they weren't all boyfriends, but thank you, we appreciate you.
So
I've been a loyal
young
fucker.
and naive.
I've been a loyal fucker since, and I'd like to think you're partially responsible for helping me grow emotionally and sexually. The absolute best. Always remain true to who you are. Here's my situation. I'm a hetero male who just turned 40. My wife and I met in our early 20s towards the end of our college careers. In our younger days, we both had our fun, but as soon as we found each other, we knew we didn't need anyone else.
Famous final last words.
I know, but it's so, I love that feeling. It's so all-consuming, but like, yeah, it has to fade. Scientifically, it has to fade, and that sucks when it fades. We were engaged and married in our mid-20s and had 3 beautiful children by the time we were both 30 and carved out an amazing life together. After 16 plus years of marriage, we're still each other's number one. We take trips together, spend quality time together, laugh, have deep, mentally stimulating conversations, and have so much fun together. Sounds great. Our sex life is very healthy too. Still having sex 1 to 2 times a week. We love it to explore each other's desires, but most importantly, we have great communication both in and out of the bedroom, except for this 4-year affair part. Unless you were in on the deal. We've devoted our time, love, and energy to nurturing our family and our relationship. Sounds great. I still pinch myself every day because she's so smart, driven, funny, has the kindest heart, and is a stone cold fox. She is my everything.
Aw.
It's really
I
sweet.
love when men say stone cold fox.
Yeah, that's a good phrase.
Someone said that about me on an eBay review for Perfectly Sound. And I said, thanks for
Gentlemen.
It feels
Word
very
to the
like
wise.
Wayne's Worldy.
Yeah. Gentlemen.
It feels
Word
very
to the
like
wise.
Wayne's Worldy.
Yeah. That's not to say our relationship hasn't had its ups and downs, but I consider it mostly from the usual pressure like careers, finances, raising 3 kids 5 years apart, and the everyday pull of thousands of life's responsibilities. But that's normal. Life's not perfect, and without downs, you'll never know the ups.
So I tell
so
myself
true.
when I'm
You're very
crying.
wise, sir. Recently found out she cheated on me. Oof, that's gotta suck, especially because your relationship sounds fucking awesome.
It was awesome because she was getting all that rage out by fucking another dude.
I guess so, but like
Yeah.
they were still fucking. You have every right to be mad, sir, but you're handling this in a way that's very sexy. I just want you to know that. She was
Yeah.
carrying on a 4-year affair with someone from a fitness trainer. It was heartbreaking enough when I discovered this.
You literally cannot trust trainers. I know so many people who have like left their spouses for the trainer. Don't work out. My trainer's always actively trying to fuck me.
Yeah,
I
and
just
I-
always tell my boyfriends, I go, listen, this is my trainer. He's
it's
a real
just what you
character.
do.
We've been working together for 10 years. He tries to fuck me.
Yeah.
I say no.
I remember when I got a trainer, I wanted a woman because I'm like, if I get a guy, I'm going to want to fuck him or he's going to want to fuck me. And I just don't want that smoke in my life right now. Just don't want that smoke in my life right now. But I want it to be rational. So I spent some time investigating and putting all the pieces together before I approached her about this. Oh, okay. If you guys don't end up together, you're going to be fine, sir, because the way you deal with things is the type of masculinity that I love so much that it's like, all right, let's figure this out. All right, we're going to figure it. Like it's the type of emotional intelligence that I hope to have one day that you have. I'll spare you the details, but no, give it to us. But this wasn't just a flirty DM exchange or a one-time thing. This was a full-blown relationship with communications on almost every platform you could think of.
How sloppy.
Yeah, dude. Usually I feel like women should be better at cheating than men. IG DMs, snaps,
She's 7?
text messages, emails, and phone calls. Emails?
Oh, God.
She's like 7 and 80.
Oh, God.
It started with flirting back and forth, but continued to escalate into sending both explicit pictures and videos to each other. Oh, my God. She got a real one and she did this to him? They would often talk on the phone on their way to and from work. Sometimes multiple phone calls a day. Jesus Christ. This was a full-on affair. My God. They would send videos. I can't believe she fucking lived with her. How could she live with herself? She had such a great relationship. They would send videos of them pleasuring themselves. It was brutal to see. You got a strong stomach, sir.
Yeah.
And hear all this. And if
Oof.
you couldn't guess already, they had a physical relationship where they would rendezvous for hookups, oftentimes over her lunch hour in a parking lot or in his car, which he got his windows tinted and kept a blanket in the car for that explicit purpose.
Sex blanket.
Dude, you got a strong stomach, sir. Damn. Sometimes they would also meet at his gym and hook up. And the worst was that these sneaky hookups were usually when I was out of town with our kids camping on oh my God, you deserve so much pussy, sir. On a work trip or worse, attending a family funeral.
Ooh, that's low.
That's low.
That's
low.
I hope it was just like an aunt or an uncle.
I hope so too. Or like a really old grandparent you didn't really talk to or something.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I'm absolutely devastated. Oh, baby. I would do anything for this woman. I have done everything to make her and our kids the center of my world. Oh my God. I want to shake this woman for you. I would do anything for our family. I write this just weeks after this revelation. I'm angry. I'm scared. I'm soul crushed. I'm floundering to find a way through this. I confronted her about it. Yes. Because we've always been good communicators, and she ended up admitting everything. She gave me way more truth and details than I knew already.
Thanks, Toots.
That I wanted to know. That you wanted to know. That's good. But she laid it all out in the open, and I can appreciate that level of honesty. It was almost like it was her chance to unburden herself. Yeah, but I want her to suffer a little bit with these lies, deception, and guilt. She says this wasn't love. Yeah, I do. I can see that. And that she doesn't have any real feelings for him. That's a fucking lie. It was more about her validation and getting off on the power dynamic she had with him. I get that. That checks. Feeling like she controlled him and the situation.
It sounds like it was like kinky.
Yeah, and that's not the dynamic you and your wife had. It was very loving, so she just wanted to experience this.
Just very hard to have be kinky with your husband of 16 plus years.
I guess so. It's possible though. I'll never not believe that that's not possible. Put a fucking wig on.
Pretend you're someone else. It's like the mystery of like the new person and the discovering.
Yes,
right?
And that's something that women want in a long-term relationship, that they want to fuck somebody else because of that, and so do men. There definitely is this. It's misconstrued that men cheat more. That might be possible, but women want it just as badly. Like I do get that. The newness is extremely stimulating on a level that it don't even matter what you fucking look like.
Yeah,
I had an affair. I wasn't in a relationship, but the guy I had an affair with was married, and it was to this day some of the best sex I've ever had. And I know that if he would have left the wife and it would have been terrible, and I would have hated it. So there you go. Which I believe, feeling like she controlled him in the situation, which I believe because in high school and college relationships, she used to do the same thing with men until she met her match in me. Smiley face. So am I a dumb bitch for trying to work through this and see if we can make our relationship work? No, but I will say if you're single again, it makes me feel good about the single women, because then there's one great guy on the market, and that's one more than I knew existed.
And what I will say quickly before we move on is, right, so you know who your wife is because you've known her for all this time. She really gets off on the power dynamic until she met her match, you. But I will say now, I mean, it depends how you go about this, but like because she cheated on you, like
you got to take the power back.
Yeah, she held the power because you said you would do anything for her, and you're taking her back even after she cheated on you. So then the power dynamic is switched, and not that you should be mean to her, because if you're going to be mean to her, there's no point to even try to heal this.
But he should play some games.
Yeah, you need to find a way to get the power back, because you're not on equal footing right now.
Yes.
And unless she morphs into that like over apologetic zone to try and keep the marriage alive. But this,
I don't know that she's going to do that.
Just like really keep that paragraph that you just wrote to us in your head, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that it sounds crazy in a marriage this long, but there has to be a strategy here.
Yes, I agree. And I got to say, everything that you've written us so far in this email, you're not being erratic, you're not falling apart, which you absolutely have every right to do.
That's unattractive, though. Don't get hysterical.
My point is, the way you're handling it in this email is sexy. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. If I don't know how I can't imagine you fell apart in front of her, but even if you did, totally fine. But if you can handle the rest of your time together, whichever way it goes, this way, she's going to go, I fucked up. I fucked up, and now I just want to fuck you. And she's going to be so attracted to you if you handle it this way with this tone.
I mean, also, I would ask for a hall pass.
As you fucking should.
I don't know. I think that's really the only way to.
Book.
I think the only way
you should get a hall pass.
And I think
she should suffer through that.
I think the only way that I could take someone back is if I got a hall pass.
Yes.
And then I can think about it.
I totally, yes, exactly. I think that you get
because
the hall
otherwise
pass.
you're gonna it's constantly be like, remember when you did that to me? And it's just
That's not fun.
Yeah,
It's not going to be fun for you. Certainly not going to be fun for her. And it's not going to be fun for your kids.
Yeah, and so like if her relationship was as transactional or power dynamic-y as she makes it sound, then this should not really be a problem.
True. Take that power back, baby. I'm still madly in love with her. Great, but don't tell her that yet.
don't tell her that.
Don't tell her that. Okay.
Only tell us.
Yes, that's fine. You could tell us. I can't see myself without her in my life.
Definitely don't
keep
tell her
that to
that.
yourself.
Definitely
but I
don't
love
tell her that.
Love that for you, sir.
Again.
We're gonna get her back. You're gonna get her back.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be coy.
You need to maintain.
You're gonna get some pussy.
Yeah.
Hopefully you want it.
need to become get the upper hand again.
Yes, you
and
do.
right now you do not have it, especially not with nice stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. But I love where your heart's
We love
at.
that for you.
And I think you are not at all a dumb bitch for wanting to make this work, but you got to do it in the right way.
Yeah.
We've built a 16-year life together with 3 amazing kids. Just finished building a new house, damn, and have such an intertwined life. I'm pretty logical and analytical thinker. I'm an engineer. Okay. That's nice. She's a lucky lady. So I consider myself emotionally intelligent. I tend to not react to initial emotions. Good for you. I like to think through and work through all the emotions before making any big decisions. That's where we are at right now in our relationship, working through all the ups and downs, all the up and down emotions to see if I can work through this, if we can work through this. Yes. But keep that, see if I can work, because now she's the one on trial. And you're the one going, let me take my time and figure out if I can get past this betrayal.
Yeah, and also just because of you, so you just told
And
us
you
who
take your
you
time.
are. You're logical. You're analytical. So I mean, again, you should not. I'm not going to tell you to be openly mean to her, but like, if she like being a little mad, because you know how
Especially if
irritating
she
it
loves power
is
dynamics.
when someone's always even keeled.
Yes.
So fucking annoying.
It's annoying to me.
It's so annoying.
Like, fucking fight me, bitch. Let's go.
So annoying when someone just is always rational in their responses. No one needs that. That doesn't make you want to tear someone's clothes off.
No.
So I think there's a part of her that like, if you're a little reactive, it might turn her on again, but like within
Yeah.
a reasonable amount. I don't want to. I'm not here saying
it could be
go
just-
be mean to your wife when she did not.
No, but it could be something as simple as, you betrayed me so hard. I need time for myself to figure out if I can deal with this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And be a little short with her.
Yeah. A little cold, a little distant.
A little cold, a little distant. Oh, that pussy gonna be wet.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah. And I know you're like trying to be logical about this.
Nah, fuck it.
And also, like, the problem with love is like it defies logic.
It really does.
That's why it does not.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But I love it. That's all I want. Good news is that I truly believe she's remorseful and loves me dearly. That is good news. She started therapy to work through some childhood issues, which could be a reason she felt she needed to seek validation. For sure.
I mean, all right. How bad was a child that you needed? Yeah, I had a bad childhood. I need to have a 4-year affair. Come on, guys.
Well, it reminds me of that pastor.
It's a little heavy.
Justin Bieber's pastor who
Oh,
had
yeah.
like a bad childhood because he was sexually abused.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
he was
listen.
just fucking everything that walked.
Yeah, I mean, and
Like
I
tens and twos.
and my response to that was also the same. It's like, all right, rein it in a little bit.
You gotta rein it in.
Can't blame
You gotta rein
everything
it in.
on the childhood.
I
Stop.
know, it's addicting. She's working every day to show me she's here for us, that she'll never hurt me again. And I think your attitude to that should be, to her face, good.
But also, don't put your, like, don't believe that she'll, like, don't distrust her, but, like, to believe
She's
that
on
someone
trial.
will never hurt you again is also preposterous.
Yes. And that's
She'll hurt you again, hopefully not this bad.
Yeah, and you'll hurt her at some
Yeah.
point for something.
Yeah.
That's what love is.
Yeah.
It's hurting each other.
Yeah.
Guys, we fucked. She's given me full access to anything in her life if I want it.
No.
Phone,
don't-
email, whatever.
Don't take advantage of that.
She's just, she's
That's a
feeling-
slippery slope.
But this lady's reeling. His wife is reeling. She's desperate.
This
And
was
she
the response
fucking
I
should
hope,
be.
which I hoped she would have.
Yes.
because this is how you get the upper hand back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let her flail.
Yeah.
Let her flail, baby. Don't
Yeah.
look through her stuff. Let
Yeah.
her flail.
Yeah.
There's been this unprecedented level of honesty in our relationship now. Almost like now that the absolute worst has happened, there's no reason to sugarcoat anything. Honestly, it's been quite refreshing. And this is a great example of that. Esther Perel says how an affair could level up a relationship. It could destroy a
Could
relationship.
spice things up 16 years in, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I totally get that. For me, I'm working with a therapist to work through my feelings too. We're also working on getting into couples counseling, but it's taking time and it should take some time for you, boo. U.S. healthcare system, am I right? I truly believe there's a path forward for us. And I hope this will only resolve to strengthen our relationship and our love. But I'd love to hear your opinions on my situation. I did not include a pic, as writers often do, because the situation is so sensitive. Maybe in my follow-up letter. Loyal fucker. I love this email. I love you're absolutely you nailed it, Corinne, in terms of like, okay, the thing that was so enticing for your wife to fuck the trainer was the power dynamic and him wanting it so bad. Now we switched that, and she's going to be the trainer to you, okay? And she's going to be wanting it so bad, and you're going to take your time.
Yeah.
I do think a little sprinkle of a little bit of cold,
Yeah.
a little bit of standoffishness,
even
just a little.
Even though you appreciate what she's doing right now, don't
Keep that
let
to
her
yourself.
know how much you appreciate it all at once.
Yeah, just
she
wait.
needs to earn your trust back, of course.
And this could be a very kinky, hot dynamic in this process.
right? Yeah.
It's gonna make her wet. It's gonna make you hard. You're gonna fuck again, and maybe you'll have a totally new sex life with each other.
Well, even before
And I think you deserve a hall pass.
Yeah. Even before, if you want it. I mean, even before we got to the part where you told us about, that she likes to kind of be this dominant energy with her trainer and like control the situation. I was concerned when you told, and this is weird, but like when you told us how great of a husband and partner you are because and a father you are, because I believed you. But there's something, and I don't know where this comes from, but there's something annoying about having a partner who's like
great.
too perfect. Women are annoyed.
understand what you're saying.
Women are annoyed by
What is
it.
that? What
I
is-
don't
maybe
know
we
what
want a
it.
challenge,
I don't know
we
what it is,
want-
and I'm like it's taken a really, and even I suffer from this. So it's taken a really long time to just be like, for me to be in a relationship where things are like so much like great. I'm just like, just to keep accepting. This is great.
Maybe when they have stuff that frustrates the other person, there's more of a separateness to the relationship in a good way. Meaning, like, I said, as for Perel's, like pretend to like flirt that your husband's going to be flirty with his secretary or whatever. Like joke about the third person that doesn't actually exist,
right.
kind of thing. Like just to create some sort of separateness. Because when you're one, that's not hot. Like that's not like then you're just masturbating. But it's like, but when there's a little bit of separateness, there's more of a possibility that the sexual attraction is going to be higher.
Yeah, I also wonder if there's a way, like, since you saw all this fucking shit, is there a way to incorporate this cheating into your sex life? Ooh. Like, just be like, oh, you like to be
Maybe
like a
she's a
fucking nasty girl. Like, oh, you like went off. You like to fuck your trainer. You fucking little slut. Like, could you, if you can stomach it?
I'm blushing.
I feel like you already saw the stuff.
Yeah.
I don't see how you could be fucking her with a knot on her mind. So, like, why not use it as something positive rather than have it haunt you? Because that shit would haunt me if I didn't use it. But I feel like if I flipped it and I took control of it, I could make it kinky. Yeah. I feel like I could enjoy it.
That's what I feel
it's
like
over.
I developed a cuckold fetish out of that type of like being cheated on, and I'm like, well, now you can never hurt me, and it really is a genuine kink for me. Like genuinely, it's all I masturbate to. It's fucking almost annoying, really, at this point. But yeah, I agree. It's a great idea.
But yeah, no, we neither of us think you're a dumb bitch.
No, you're a great bitch.
You're a greater bitch than
a lot of these dumb bitches.
Probably me. I don't know if I could be taking this person back.
Yeah, and she's lucky. But just let her come to you. Yeah. Let her come to you and give her a little bit of a cold shoulder. Just a little bit of a cold shoulder.
Yeah, maybe make it like a really good dinner and then eat it in front of her and don't offer her anything. Really? Oh, you want to play power?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Wow. All right. So this one says, girlfriend down to get me off, but won't let me touch her, and it's driving me crazy. Okay. Hi, Corinne and Krystyna. I'm 26, and I've been listening to y'all since I was like 19. So thanks for raising me. You've taught me so much about relationships and life in general. I appreciate you both for giving so much of yourselves to your listeners. I started going through the backlog from the beginning a while ago, and I'm in late 2020 right now. So it's interesting reliving the pandemic with y'all. Oh, my God. Sorry, I have a little tickle in my throat. Anyways, to the reason I'm writing, and maybe I should also write to a queer podcast like Ashley Gavin's or something, but in my mind, y'all are my older sisters, so I wanted to ask you guys first. I'm about 6 months into my first relationship in a while, and my first serious relationship with a woman. I have casually dated women in the past, but have only been in relationships with men. Side note, one of our early dates was to Corinne's Eye of the Tiger show in Houston. I don't think she listens to the show, though, so probably won't hear this. My girlfriend is also 26 and is great, But the thing is, in our relationship that is giving me some stress and anxiety is our sex life. She has experienced some really horrible sexual trauma in her life, and as a result, she is not very sexual herself. She is more than willing to fuck me anytime I initiate, but she herself does not want to be touched below the belt, basically at all.
Okay, that's an issue.
Yeah, she was
That's the issue. previously,
and I also don't think this is a queer issue. This is just
This is an
this
issue
is a
issue.
sexual assault issue.
Person issue.
Yeah. She was previously in a years-long relationship with another woman, and from what she has told me, on infrequent occasions she would let her girlfriend touch her, but for the most part sex is a pretty one-sided act for her, in that she is going to give and not receive. Logically, I totally understand and respect that, and having previously been in relationships with men, being in a relationship where the sex is all about me is mostly great.
Sure.
But I am also a pleaser. I get off on getting the other person off, on knowing that I turn them on just as much as they turn me on. I can get off, but still feel like I'm missing out on something when the other person doesn't.
Yeah, I hear
also,
ya.
it just seems like, how can there be longevity to something
Exactly.
that's so one-sided sexually?
You got to have reciprocation.
I went through this with my last serious boyfriend when he started antidepressants and all of a sudden couldn't get off. It drove me fucking nuts. It would make me actually irrationally angry, and I knew the anger was misplaced and probably stems from some deep insecurity of not feeling like I'm good enough / sexy enough / whatever to get them off. And now in this new relationship, I don't only not get her off, but I don't get to touch her pussy or make her feel good at all.
That sucks.
And that's also like connection, you know?
Yeah.
It gives me
It's
a lot
vulnerability, which is
Yeah.
obviously why your girlfriend does not want you to do it, because that's a scary form of vulnerability for her at the moment.
Yeah, it gives me a lot of anxiety around sex because I feel like we're only doing it for me, and then I feel guilty. I'll get in my head about it so much so that we'll start, and then even I can't get off because she's face deep in my pussy. I'm zoned out thinking she just does this because she feels like she has to.
Sucks.
And what are we even doing this for? And I don't initiate as much as I want to, even though I know she would be happy to engage if I did because of all this anxiety around it. We've talked about this a little, but her attitude is always kind of like, it is what it is, and that it didn't cause problems in her previous relationships.
Well,
so why
I think
is it
it did,
now?
and she just doesn't think it did.
Yeah, and
It
again,
has to.
and also just like this is not her previous relationship. This is your guys' relationship, and so the rules from the previous relationship
Do not apply.
Are null and void. Okay, I hate when there's carryover from previous relationships. Like, you are who you are for sure, but the relationship is new and needs to be treated as such. She can't force herself to want more than she does. She's been in therapy for years. She's doing the things she needs to do for herself. If she's been in therapy for years with the same person, maybe switch a therapist.
Yeah, because if she's still
Yeah.
nervous about being touched, the therapist isn't doing a great job.
Yeah.
You need to be pushed a little bit. My God.
Yeah. Also, I know she masturbates because I've come over and lied in her bed and
Okay.
lied directly on her vibrator. And she always just laughs and puts it in a drawer. So she
So
has
it's a
problem
vulnerability.
She has a problem with safety issue with other people.
I have so many ideas
Understandable.
for you guys.
Again, I know rationally that, especially for an assault victim, masturbating and engaging with another person are completely different things.
Even if you weren't assaulted, they are.
Yeah. But I still can't help sometimes but feel a little sad that she does want to get off, but not by me. And overall, I also don't see how you guys could get to the level that you need to for a long-term relationship to really work if
Yes.
she doesn't trust you enough to engage in sexual activity with you.
I agree.
Quite frankly.
It's not going to be a squeaky clean transition
Yeah.
to going from
No.
not having this sexual engagement to
Course.
sex. It's going to be triggering and traumatizing maybe a little bit, but
Yeah.
like if you can battle that or like weather those storms, she's going to trust you more than she's ever trusted another human being.
Yeah, and unless, I mean, I don't know if this. I mean, I guess a sexual assault could truly trigger you to become asexual. I mean, I feel like that's more like who you are innately, though. If you know, since it's on the spectrum of sexuality, like just like you don't turn gay, you wouldn't turn asexual. I don't think. I'm not well read on that. Just kind of basing it off other types of. Anyway, but so it feels like her sexuality is repressed, which I'm sure is then coming out in other ways.
Yeah.
And overall, I still feel like I'm not getting my needs met sexually. Yeah, because sex is reciprocal.
Yep.
Even if I initiate more, I don't think that that's going to fix the guilt I feel when we're hooking up. And I know she's only doing it for me.
That's why you got to talk that out.
I know y'all haven't dated women, so you haven't been
have.
in this situation, but wondering if y'all have any thoughts. I also, again, I just don't think this is really anything to do with being
Sexual
gay
orientation.
or being a woman. A man could have the same reaction
Yes,
to sexual
and I know men who have been
trauma,
sexually
for
assaulted
sure.
and don't want to fuck.
Yeah.
But want to finger the shit out of their girlfriends or their boyfriends, whatever it is. Like this is a common thing.
I know I've heard Corinne talk about how having similar sex drives is more important than we often give credit to, but I don't want this to be the thing that ends an otherwise great relationship. Well, this is different than sex drives. This is trauma. But I really don't feel like I'm getting my sexual needs met right now, and I know before long that'll drive me crazy.
You're right.
I've thought about broaching the topic of some type of open relationship, but
Nope.
she's that's
Nope.
that's
That's not the time for that.
That's not the way
That's not the time for that.
the way to heal trauma.
Yeah.
But she's talked to me about being a fairly jealous person and about getting cheated on in the past, and I just don't think she's going to be down for that. Please let me know if y'all have any thoughts, advice, suggestions. Thanks so much if you read all of that. I love you guys. Thanks for all you do.
Yeah, I think mutual masturbation might be a good first step.
No, yeah.
And mutual masturbation, and then but it could also start with a conversation of like, hey, when you masturbate, you know, there's a couple of times where I've sat on your bed and I've sat on your vibrator and you put it back in the drawer. I love that you masturbate. That's like kind of hot to think about. And I was curious, what do you think about? Like, what do you get off to? What excites you? I'm also, I don't know why I had this,
I love
like, little
talking. I love that. I think that's the baby step she needs. Talking about what she masturbates to before we even talk about taking her pants off.
Yes, and making it very clear to her that you're not in a rush. I think doesn't have to be said that if you guys keep on this trajectory, you're going to get bitter and resentful and break up with her. I think you both kind of know that. She might be hiding that fact from herself, but I think that you don't need to make that known at this point in time because you're not at the point of wanting to break up with her yet. It's just baby steps, and I think that you need to give respect to earning somebody's sexual trust. And I know a lot of women that I'm very close to that were raped by their fathers at a very young age. At a young age that, I mean, being raped by your dad is always absolutely awful. But I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years old. Really, really awful things. And I've talked to them about like how they got to love their body again and how they got to like have an orgasm and it felt great and they don't have to think about that. And it's a journey, man. It's a journey. So if you love this woman and have patience with her, but I understand you're on your own little timeline here because you also have sexual needs. You're absolutely right. But I think that it's like a slow blooming of a flower. You just can't rush it. So that's how I think you should start approaching it.
I will also say though, right? So like you're saying like, you know, it's hard for you to engage in this one-sided sexual relationship because you feel guilt. But then that's what you say at the top of the email. And then by the bottom of the email, you're kind of just
If
like,
I don't get fucked, I'm going to leave.
yeah, like you're like, you just get into like, I don't feel like I'm getting my sexual needs met right now. It's like, you're fucking you're coming. Like it feels like, do you care? Ask yourself before we start this, do you care enough about this person to go on this sexual exploration with them? Because if not, then just like bow out now.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a bit of a long road,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And so like if it escalated within the course of one email, and again, like, so I know that, you know, when was I in Houston? Like April or something. So that's not that long that you've been dating, right? So if you're already at this point where it's kind of just like, you know, it's like, and it's also like, are you just saying you feel guilty because she's not getting her sexual needs met so that you come off as a good person in the letter? Or do you really, really mean that from the bottom of your heart? Because again, it just escalated to, I'm not getting my sexual needs met right now. And it's like,
Okay. But look, and that can be triggering in a relationship. I've experienced
For
it
sure.
where it's triggering, but you have to use your discernment here and go, why is this a hot button issue for me?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it goes a little bit beyond I'm not coming because it was just a matter of am I coming or not? You know how to masturbate. You know how to masturbate.
and
It's
she's
fine.
coming though.
Right. And with your partner. But I think that your particular sexual need is reciprocation, which I think is basically everybody's sexual need, and they're just not, you know, we don't put it into layman's terms.
So
like that.
funny. I was reading this and I was like, I would love if someone just wanted to fuck me.
And you didn't get them off?
Yes.
Oh, really?
That'd be
See,
great.
I want to experience that with the person. Like,
I get
it bothers
zero
me.
pleasure from, but it bothers me 0%. when I am like blowing someone or like making someone else come, I'm doing it out of like truly because I like love them. That's what it's doing. I'm like, I love them and I want to do this for them because I love them. But like, am I getting any sexual joy from it?
Yeah.
Not enough that I could.
I get so much sexual joy from blowing. But yeah, I think that I agree with you, Corinne. You got to ask yourself, how much do you love this person? And it's okay if it's not enough to want to make this work. And also, it's also okay that like a relationship takes a lot more TLC than your last one. You know what I mean? Because there's some extenuating circumstances here. And it's also okay to say, I have an internal timeline that I want to give myself. I want to work on this. I want to give this 6 more months. And by that 6 months, I want to reevaluate and see where we're at. That's okay too. Like it's all okay. Just don't bring up the open relationship shit right now because I don't think that's kind to her.
Yeah, definitely.
I get it. I get what you're saying. I think you're right. I get it. Like if you could fuck other people, like, yeah, maybe you'd be a little calmer and you would have more patience for her. But if that's what it's going to take for you to have patience with her, then ending the relationship is the wise choice.
We're going into open relationship in the first 6 months.
Yeah,
Stop it. Just find someone else.
Yeah.
You're being silly.
Yeah, because this person deserves somebody who will embark on that journey with her.
Yeah.
And if it's not you, that's okay. Doesn't reflect badly on your character.
Yeah.
You don't have to want to sign up for this.
Yeah.
But if you want to, I think it'll be a healing journey.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Speaking of healing journeys, we've had a great time.
Yeah. What a show.
It's a healing journey.
What a show. Do you feel healed, Eric?
You healed?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thank you guys. There's been a lot of, I've had a lot of interactions lately and with these emails of people who have listened to the show since like 2013, 2014. And I just like, I was taking a walk the other day. I take like these gratitude walks whenever I get like pissed off at something. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that, Krystyna. What are you thankful for? And I was like, wow, I don't really say this enough to myself privately, but certainly not out loud in the mic, of how much I appreciate and what an honor it is to be in somebody's life for that long. That's like, I listen to podcasts. There's a lot of podcasts that I fucking love that I'm obsessed with. I don't listen to them every week. And it's just it just means a lot. It means a lot. And your emails mean a lot to us. And you being here for this long means a lot. So I just want to say thank you.
And that's how I feel about the Gilmore Girls and Dawson's Creek. So I get it.
It's a comfort. It's comforting.
It's comfort. It's people who are always there for you and no one else is, you know? Well, thank you guys for joining us this week and all the weeks that you've joined us, and if this is your first week or if this is your, I don't know how many weeks, or like if this is your 500th week.
Yeah.
You know, more than that. Thank you for joining us. This has been Guys We Fucked, the anti-slut shaming podcast. We'll talk to you next Friday.